What's good, guys? CJ here, and today we got episode 2 of the Nightcast with some of the GOATs of the DNA community. And we really wanted to do this to sit down and talk about the 1.1 dev stream, what we thought about it, what you guys thought about it, and just share our thoughts as well as some of the latest news regarding Tower or Theater and some of the things going on in there. So, the first thing I really want to talk about is before we go into what they did, I'm sure we all had expectations. We all had things we wanted to see in 1.1. And I just really want to hear from you guys. What were the things that you wanted to see in the 1.1 dev stream? So we can start it off with whichever one of you wants to get first.
So we're talking about expectations first, right?
Yes.
Well, me ultimately, because I know or I'm quite familiar when it comes to like dev timelines, I wasn't going to be expecting much beyond what was probably already planned, and that means new region, new story, the characters at the schedule that they told us it was going to be at, and the cosmetics as well as the other like fixes that they announced beforehand. Now, what I didn't really expect was us to get 2 more weapons than just like from the theater, which honestly that was like pretty big for me, and also the wedges. I was expecting wedges because they told us that as well.
For me, like I was surprised that they did well. Like to be honest, like DNA had a really rough launch, but we can't lie, right? It was pretty rough. I personally wanted them to go a little bit harder, but from what we saw, they did plan a lot of things, so I'm kind of satisfied. After looking back at the stream, reviewing it again, they did quite a lot of good things, I have to say. I wanted them to showcase more demon wedges, but they showed only one thing, and then they showed us the wallpaper of the demon wedge event, which actually is a pretty good event to add. The demon wedge event. We'll get to that later, but yeah, they're very vague with what demon wedges are coming. And as the wedge guy, I would have loved to see more. That's basically it.
In my opinion, bro, I think they did a fairly good job, but like I think it was their presentation mostly, right? Because I think people wanted to see like more stuff, like what Morph was saying with like the demon wedges. Like they didn't really, bro. They show off a dual blade stance mod. Like, no, I don't think anyone like cared about that one of any of the wedges we would like kind of want to hear about, right? They talked about a dual wedge stance mod, so like definitely that. I think they could have probably put Fushu's trailer, the one they dropped like last night, in that live stream too. I think. Because like that would have also like brought a bunch of hype. It also showed off like how her skills kind of looked and all that. So for me, mostly presentation. In terms of like expectations from what they provided, I was fine with what they gave us, for like content wise. But
okay, for me, I gotta say, before going into the stream, my expectations, or at least what I really wanted to see, which didn't happen, but it was also like a little far-fetched considering that it's the first patch. I wanted to see some sort of end-game content going into the stream, right? We've been grinding now for a while, but I did want to see some end game, something for us to do. That was the first thing. And I wanted to see more skins, bro. I wanted to see more skins. Those are the 2 things I wanted to see the most. And we did get some more skins, but it was only 2 really actual character skins, the Fushi one and then the other one, and no endgame. So going into the stream, I didn't have very high expectations, but at least on the end of endgame, it wasn't met. At least that's for me, right?
I was actually gonna add that after everybody cycled, not enough endgame like featured on the stream.
Yeah.
But they did say like expect more things after, but I don't know.
Yeah, they did say some stuff like that. Which goes into the next point, which is after the stream, right? What was your overall impression? Giving their presentation, what they showed, how they spoke, how they looked on stream. What did you guys think about the presentation of the actual stream?
I think there's some major crunch going on in that studio right now.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, they looked tired than more tired than I was, and I had 2.5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, they look beat, bro, for real.
Yeah, like especially with how still they were. They were like, okay, what's the next line? What's the next thing we have to go after? Okay, let's just like get through this. It's all business.
Yeah, bro, straight business.
Yeah.
On my stream, like right after, I was like replaying the stream for my chat, and I was like zooming in on the devs, I was like, does this guy look happy? Does he look like he made money?
That was how it
So
was, bro.
so I was like, I think it's all right. I remember them showing the, if you saw the guy in the middle when they were showcasing the Demon Wedge dual blade thing,
Yeah.
he's like, he didn't look very happy while he was presenting the Demon Wedge thing. I feel like he wanted to show more things, but they're so busy. Maybe they weren't like fully prepared for the stream.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to show more stuff, but that's all they had, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they definitely felt like they were like tired though for sure. Like, and even at the end, like
Yeah.
when Dekabé were speaking at the end, he was like, bro looked like he wasn't like happy about this update. He was like kind of like, damn, we're like getting through this live stream right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those looks. It wasn't like, damn, I'm super excited that players are gonna play the update. It's like more so like, damn, like, bro, I hope they like
Damn,
it.
I
you
got
know?
work tomorrow.
Yeah, like, and we got work more. Like,
I need
you
to
know, it's-
sleep.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, other than that, like that's pretty much like how I took it.
Mhm.
But I think they're working hard. Then you know what I mean. If they're like they're pretty much saying that like they're listening to feedback and all that, and like they say they're working hard, and it looks like they are just based on how they come across. So yeah, I think they're doing good.
Yeah, no, for me, I think it was pretty much the same. Like you could tell they were tired or beat, but you could feel the energy. They were like you
Yeah.
guys said, that we're just trying to get through it, bro. You
Yeah.
could tell that was the thing. The only thing that outside of that, and it could be tied to that I will point out, and we can all agree, is it felt rush, right? They were
Yeah.
like we said, they were trying to get through it because there was a lot of things that I feel they didn't really like break down or give us enough information about. Some of the events were like, what is that in the shop? How does this work? And
Yeah.
the same with the wedges. They talked about wedges and showed one wedge. So I feel like actually in depth showed one wedge. So I feel there was rush, but it could be tied to the fact that they were just fried, pumping out
There-
so much content while fixing all of this in this last
yeah.
month and a half. Bro, it's a lot.
I wonder. Yeah, exactly. You guys mentioned it. Like, didn't even touch up on that special Christmas theater event. I wonder what that is, right?
And that's another thing that I feel like definitely gets really overlooked when it comes to people discussing the update and like how much they feel like got done. It's just how many fixes for the game, especially when it comes to like big overarching stuff, like all of those mobile improvements, as well as the co-op. I honestly was not expecting co-op to really be touched up on for
Yeah.
I don't know, like another update. But the fact that they like buckled down and really prioritize that gives me a lot of hope, especially
Yeah.
for like more co-op focus in the future, because that shows it's a major priority.
The
Yeah,
graphic
yeah.
update too, man. Like if you took
Yeah.
a close look at
Wow.
Fuxu, like her hair and everything, she
Mhm.
looked really, really good in that
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah. Characters everything looked, bro. Like if we really look at 1.0 and 1.1, it looks like a different game. Like the trailer
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
completely different.
I mean, especially like looking all the way back to CBT2, which was June.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you guys. We might all have different things that we like about the game. So if we take out Fushu's skin, what was the thing y'all enjoyed the most about the update? Like the thing that really impacted you the most from everything they showed?
Camilla.
Ooh, okay.
Shit, I can't say Fushu's bikini. I'm gonna say Camilla then.
Honestly, the co-op fixes. Like
Okay.
that's the thing that impacted me the most and has changed like what I'm thinking the game's trajectory could be. Because like before I was kind of thinking like, okay, like raids, dungeons, like co-op focused stuff, this would be really, really good to have, but I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be something that'll be prioritized at all.
Yeah.
But seeing like the co-op stuff being like fixed in the first update, that's making me think, okay, they're cooking up some co-op stuff, some big co-op stuff probably
Yeah,
that
it makes sense.
really
For me-
would benefit from having like no lag in the servers.
Yeah, that's actually big too. Like most
Mhm.
likely we're getting raid stuff or actual team-based activities. For me, we already mentioned it, but the graphical update, like
Yes.
just after one patch,
Yeah.
I really wasn't expecting it. Like 1.0 to 1.1, because to me, I play the game. We all have like hundreds and hundreds of hours. I
Mhm.
personally think the game looks pretty good already.
Yeah.
and then they just made
Yeah.
it that much better. I
Yeah.
think it's because they wanted to address it a little bit. Because I remember like way back early, even before the launch, people were comparing this game. Warframe came out 8 years ago, and then Duet Night Abyss is coming out in 2025. But it's hard to compare the art style, right? Because Warframe is
Yeah.
like realistic and
And this
freaking
is cell
awesome.
shaded anime.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So you can't really compare that. But I think they want to compete with like Kuro Games graphics at least,
And also Arknight's Enfield. That's another big thing
and
that they're
Arknights
going to
too.
want to be
Yeah.
competing with.
Yeah.
A bit more Arknights than Kuro Games because most of the people who are fans of WUA are already playing WUA, but Arknight's Enfield is definitely going to be the bigger, I don't know if threat's the right word, competitor in the market because
It's
that's
the
where
new one.
yeah,
Yeah, the new
those
big-
are people who are looking for another game to play.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm pretty sure all of us are gonna play that, right? Everybody here.
I mean,
I don't know. I
I'm
might
a little
try
bit
it.
iffy on it. Like, I'm willing to give it a shot, especially if there's like nothing going on.
True.
Kinda
And
burned
I'm done
you
my
know,
gacha
like
mode, man. I'm done my gacha.
at,
mode,
at the rate with what I'm going for in Duet Night Abyss, I might have actually done everything by the time that Arknight's Enfield comes out because like it's
Yeah, that is
January,
true.
right?
Yeah, that's where I was getting at. We're like burning through this stuff,
Yeah.
but we don't know what's coming in 1.1 exactly. So
Mhm.
hopefully we get a lot. Who
Yep.
knows?
And beyond that, I'm also looking forward to other games like Ananta. That's probably like the biggest chance for me to pick up like a third game. Because right now I've got Wua. I haven't really done a lot of content on Wua. I've been considering it. But Duet Night Abyss has obviously been my main. And Ananta I've actually been following for a lot longer than I've been following Duet Night Abyss, funnily enough. Though that game is certainly taking its sweet time to come to existing.
Yes.
Yeah,
And of course, there is also like the little bit of grain of salt that I have to take everything with because it is under NetEase. And even if it's not gacha, we have also seen, or not character gacha, I should specifically say, because they could very well do cosmetic gacha. We saw the monetization in Where Winds Meet, and we very well could see something similarly expensive for that game.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so I'll say what I wanted the most from the live stream, or like the most like exciting thing. At peace in the fishing shop. Let's go. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that
Bro,
was
yeah,
big.
bro, the thing is like, okay, everything all you guys mentioned is like more generalistic things that like, yeah, they were really good. But for players like me specifically, I think y'all already had that piece, right? So I'm like, I think the only one. So
Yeah.
I had it like day 2.
bro, I
Damn.
still don't have it, bro. I have like over like 600 Genimons in my like on my profile. Like I'm like, bro, like how do I have this many and like I still haven't gotten a single IP? So I'm like, okay, that's a major update for people that are still struggling for that. And even like the death trait too, they have that there as well. So I think that's big, and that's just like, you know, that's like a quality of life thing if anything, right?
Also chase
Or so that-
blueprints.
Oh, that too.
Selector.
That's big
Yeah,
as well.
that was
Yes.
pretty big.
There. Yeah. That's pretty much what I was gonna say. For me, it was 3 things. The first one is, like we said, is a more general thing. The graphical update is major because
Yeah.
the game looks good. We can all agree the game looks good right now. But if we compare it to some of the other anime style games right now and some of the upcoming ones, at least currently we can say that this one was a little behind.
Mhm.
And with that new graphical update, it's going to look so much better, and it is going
Yep.
to give it a chance to stand out. The second thing was the ability to get prime wedges, bro, and select the one you have. Oh my god, bro.
Oh yeah.
I've only been able to get one for my niffle, bro. One this whole time. So the ability to have that in there is huge.
Also, another
What is that?
thing to add, the like Omni smelt material that we're getting from
Free dupes.
Yeah, that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's huge,
Like
yeah, bro.
not just for a wedge, but also for a weapon as well. That's massive.
It is.
Yeah,
The
that's
weapon mod
accurate.
is the massive mod. Yeah.
Honestly, between materials like that being added to Duet Night Abyss, as well as like the new sort of like login crate that we're getting for character shards, it's definitely going to be a lot easier for people who are like buying that stuff and continuously playing the game to max out their characters like
Yeah.
on a regular basis, because like that weapon smelt and that box makes it so that you could probably pretty consistently max out your mystic or your theater character as well as their weapon within the 4 weeks leading up to the next one.
Yep. Absolutely. That is definitely a big thing.
Mhm.
And it also gives the possibility because those items are good. They're rare. I would
Yeah.
say those items hold more value even than the milk for genie mons, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like way more. So those items give the possibility of end game content where you get those as rewards, and it could be monthly or something along those lines, and it
Yeah.
would be worth it. Like if they were to give you a demon wedge dupe at like I don't know theater act 50, you would want to go to 50 to get that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be very worth it.
100%.
Yeah, so that
My-
those definitely.
My chat wanted to bring to light the mobile updates, the controls, the graphic updates, and performance.
That is
Because like mobile is a very big part
Yeah.
of the monetization for them to make money
Mhm.
and also to attract more players. So yeah, we gotta mention the mobile.
I would not be surprised if next month we see like 3 million or 4 million mobile revenue.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially
Fushu,
with how
yeah.
good
Yeah,
Fu-
Fushu
Fushu, everything.
1.1 and the mobile performance, like it's
I
gonna be
would
massive.
hope so. Yeah.
Another thing that I'm gonna be super excited to see is how the Steam charts turn out. Because I mean, obviously,
yeah.
with the like base launcher in the game, and also Epic Games, there's obviously gonna be a lot of people who are just gonna stick with the platform they started on. But it will be interesting to see how many new players we get from Steam, as well as how many people will swap over. I know I'm definitely gonna swap over just because I like.
Same.
Steam
I
as a
gotta see my
platform.
Steam like hours,
Same.
bro.
Yep.
Gotta see my
Yeah,
hours on Steam, bro.
The two.
I'm swapping.
Them Steam reviews though, they're gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
Oh, they're gonna
We'll see what that's looking like.
Remember to leave a
Carpet
positive review,
bombing.
everybody. Do
They
your
always
part.
do, bro. But with that, guys, I want to ask y'all: was there anything that you didn't like from the stream that you wish they would have done better? For example.
I wish they gave us more detail on the wedges and more explain or talked about already.
Yeah.
But I also wish they gave us a bit more detail on the events because they kind of talked a lot more about the rewards than the events themselves in a lot of cases. Which
Yeah.
it definitely gives me a little bit more to like think about, just like, okay, what's coming next? How's this gonna exactly play out? But it's also that mystery box can be just as dangerous as it can be good, because like what if somebody expects essentially something completely different and then it's not living up to that? And beyond that as well, let's see. Oh yeah, they also didn't tell us anything about like the weapon effect either, or anything about the characters' kits. Well, actually no, we did get a little bit of details about the characters' kits, but we didn't get any details about like the weapon effects.
Yeah.
What was disappointing for me? I'm very biased to Electro, so that I found them not being. I won't be able to play them until what Feb, right?
Yeah.
So that was it for me mostly. Like it's just a character bias. I feel like Lumino just got Fina, so it would have been fine to not have another Lumino on January.
Yeah.
But I think what's gonna happen is Zilu or the hot Electro Mommy character will most likely get a banger Myriad skin or something.
You know it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably what.
Yeah. That's why she's like 2 months away. So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm buying it.
we all will.
Yes.
What I didn't like about the stream, I think Morph and Feroz put it like the stuff I would say, but like other than that, bro, like I would probably just say presentation. They didn't really like go about it like
Mhm.
well. They just kind of like said this is coming, and then didn't show, right? Like Feroz was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
yeah.
enough hype, right? No hype.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I was more like hyped, obviously, from just the TGA trailer the night prior, like than like
Yeah.
anything they showed on the stream. To be
Yeah.
honest, because like
Yeah.
I mean the Fuchsia skin, yeah, but like
Well, the cosmetics got me more
Yeah.
hyped.
yeah, the
than
Fuchsia
anything
skin
else.
was hype, but yeah.
Well, not just the Fuju skin, like all those accessories, the new weapon
Oh,
skins.
sure, yeah. That's
The
new
plunge
effects that we're
animation was
getting.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the
The
plunge
Helix leap
animation, the
animation
Helix
with,
leap
like, the-
animation.
yeah.
Helix.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, for me it was just pretty much what you guys said. the lack of information to a certain degree of explanation of certain things. Like it would have been nice to see the map, like actually like a little bit of movement across the map, just a little bit more. We saw the characters a
Actually,
little bit, but it would have been nice to see like to at least for Fushu, for them to tell us a little bit more of her kit, just a little bit more.
100%.
And we got the events and the wedges that they mentioned. They showed one wedge, right? It would have been
Yeah.
good if they talked a little bit. They didn't even have to tell us the wedges. They could have just said, we have 5, 6, 7 new wedges being added. And from the events, I know we have like a combat event and some basic ones. It would have been nice if they showed, even if it was like 30 seconds of gameplay of the event, right? To
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
see what
for
we're
sure.
going into. But they didn't really break down any of those things. That's the only gripe that I had with the stream.
my theory regarding the wedges, I feel like they'd have a lot of we might get a lot of wedges in terms of like stat changes and stuff like that. But it's kind of hard to make that look cool on a presentation. So the only thing that they probably had was like the weapon attack altering ones.
Yeah.
That's just my theory on it. They're like, all right, let's just show the weapon wedge looking thing, and then let
Yeah.
them just see what's happening in 1.1.
Yeah, keeping the surprise. But it would have been like even if they just showed like 5 wedges without telling us what they did, just showing them on screen,
Yeah.
it would have been hype because we would have been like, "Yo, we're getting all of these. What does this do? Oh, this one's red. It's for pyro characters." You know, we would have been
Exactly.
able to speculate a little bit on what it
Yeah.
was.
Or at the very least, confirming if the new characters are getting new signature wedges.
Yeah,
Because
things
that's
like
been
that.
like something that has definitely been talked about in my community, like pre-farming wedges for Fushu. And I'm kind of just sitting here saying like, oh, I can't really recommend doing this or not doing this because, I mean, if they add a new signature wedge and you farmed up like all your plus 10 Covenanters, you're gonna get like a whole bunch of useless Covenanters now because you have to plus 10 hit the new sig.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. So, with that said, is there we all like I said, we all have things that we like and dislike about the game. But if you guys had to pick 1 or 2 things that you think they need to add in terms of either content or quality of life, sooner rather than later, what would be your picks?
2 things. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, biggest thing is going to be new modes. New modes is highest priority right now because variety of gameplay is what makes or breaks games like this, like grindy games. Because even if the gameplay is fun, if you're just doing the same exact mission over and over again, it can get a little bit exhausting. Especially because right now there's not really enough like difficulty across the average play session in just about anything to really engage the players on that front. So I would definitely like to see a lot more active grinds being added, and not just ones that are like 20% better than the AFK ones, but like 50 to twice is much better.
Yeah.
At the very bare minimum, which I think is fair because it's requiring a lot more out of people in order to participate in those. For the second thing that I'd say is probably a top priority, I mean, this might be a little bit of a hot take. I'm just going to bring it up here because I know it's very much a hot topic among the community, but I really don't think character balancing is as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. I mean, even if you just compare the amount of characters that are, let's say, on the weaker end, it is only about 6 characters out of the entire cast who would really qualify for that. And even then, out among those 6, I'd really only say that there's 2 that don't really have a spot anywhere. And it's
Yeah.
mostly just because they're supports, and I'm talking about Daphne and Margie. So,
Okay.
and when it comes to the weapons, obviously that's going to be a very complex issue, and I don't really think it's that big of a thing that like absolutely needs to be tackled about over like something such as new gameplay additions. With that in mind, if there would be one other thing that I think is a top priority.
For me, top priority should be it needs more quality of life. That's for sure. For me, the biggest things I think is addressing better rewards for later waves, deeper act pushes, stuff like that
Mhm.
should be really, really addressed as soon as
Yeah.
possible so that people will be incentivized to like hard grind the game, get the plus
Mhm.
10, max wedges, and then really push for it, you know? So that has to be number one. For the buffs and stuff like that, I used to be the biggest advocate for it because, I use all the weak characters and make them decent. But if I'm really imagining how this game is going to turn out later on, much like Warframe, once they introduce the wedges that actually change how a character plays, that centerpiece wedge or something, the cool one.
Yeah.
I can wait for that, and you can bet that that's gonna be probably the biggest patch the game will get because they're gonna transform 20 plus characters into new characters, and I feel like that's when DNA is really gonna pop off. Is when they do something like that. So I'm not
Imagine a
really.
wedge. Oh, sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, imagine a centerpiece wedge for Hellfire where she gets like a major damage buff but consumes HP every single time she deals damage.
Yeah, so you could build her as like a resolve thing or something else. Like a different way to build her would be really cool. Uh, so yeah, like I'm down for that. Maybe she turns into her boss form or something. I don't know, whatever. But
That'd be sick.
something like that would be amazing for the game. And I'm patient enough to like wait for it. Since we're getting new characters, like really really good characters, it doesn't really make sense to like buff immediately. I could wait for the 2.0 for that. Besides improving the rewards for like deeper pushes, we already talked about it. End game, give us like another end game activity where we can really test out our characters. We can talk about theater later. It's one of our topics. So yeah, better rewards for deeper pushing is probably the most important.
I don't know, like I don't think I had like anything that I think right now needs to be like at this very moment needs to be addressed. But I think like the reason why they didn't like mention like weapon balancing and stuff is because like that's not what their like focus was, or like even like character balancing, that wasn't really their focus with the live stream. It was to show the work they put in on the new area, right?
Mhm.
Like I think that was mostly their
Yeah.
their push.
Yeah.
So I understand why they didn't, because I know obviously like the community right now is like, kind of going crazy over that. But I think it was more so just like the devs are working on their like main thing right now, and they thought people would like be pretty like hyped for that, and not necessarily about like changes that for like end game players like for us that like we kind of wanted to see. So it's mostly just for like getting newer players in a sense, which is what I think they were trying to do. But yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
think right at the moment, like other than what Fearless and Morph said, like I think they said it right, like for what they think needs to be like be addressed right now. But yeah, I think I just wanted to add that because like I just thought I was thought I would mention it. But yeah, no, they said everything I would say. So
Yeah, you guys pretty much touched up on everything. For me, the two biggest things, like right off the bat, is they got to improve progression-based rewards, right? Like the fact that if you get out of your missions early, you get better rewards that if you stay there for 20, 30 minutes, kind of goes against the whole point of building up your characters to be stronger,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
They got to give us a reason to want to build them to be stronger. And I think that even in the most basic modes, grinding, defense, all of that, it can be implemented. The higher waves you go, rewards start ramping up, difficulty starts ramping up, and it's just better for players that are investing on their characters. And I think it
Yeah.
would be a big impact, right? And the second thing, you guys also mentioned it, is an end game mode, but not just an end game mode. I want something to grind for that it's not just resources and materials. I want that rare item, those rare, it could even be
Mhm.
skins, I don't care, but I want that rare thing
Chase.
that makes, yeah, the thing that you really want to grind for and get strong to be able to finally get. You do a backflip off your chair when you finally get that rare weapon, that rare wedge. We need that item. I think that's probably one of the most important things they could do.
The leopard thong skin.
to grind for it,
I would
bro.
be, yeah, I would be
You have
there
to grind
grinding
for it.
nonstop, bro. I'll be looking like the devs after 3 days, bro. No sleep.
And the
Oh, one thing I will mention though, and I think it was because I saw CJ's title actually for his like initial TGA trailer reaction. Mounts, bro, because in the trailer they showed them like running on those like things.
Yeah,
Bro, that would have been
mounts, yeah.
crazy if they revealed we had like mounts just to like at least like the open world area you could just like run around with and just mess around.
Yes.
I thought that would have been like really cool. So like sure, I think they could have added that. But
Bro, everybody thought that was mounts.
yeah, no,
I was
I said
getting
like literally
bombarded.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we get. I mean, if it's there, I hope at some point we get mounts. It would be really lit. It would be really hype.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, this one is going to be an interesting one, guys. How has your experience been with the community ever since the 1.1 update or the
Bro.
dev
Oh my
stream?
God.
It has been so scuffed. So thankfully, I'm gonna say like 90 to 95% of the people that I've interacted with have been really positive about it. They've been really enjoying it, or at the very least, they have been, respectful
Understanding
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, understanding, respectful, being like, well, it sucks that I didn't get this thing, but I also do understand that we are very early into the game, and I'm willing to give them more time to get everything figured out because I understand these are complex issues. However, there is that very, very loud, angry, upset 5%. That it's honestly like so baffling to me like some of the takes that I've been seeing. Like I made a whole video addressing like as many as I could, but like there's just some like really wild stuff. The amount of times that I've seen people saying that it's absolutely unacceptable that they are releasing one character a month.
Oh, that's
It's
crazy
just
to me.
baffling.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
to me.
that's insane
Yeah.
to me.
That's crazy to
Because
me.
like, yeah, because I mean, if you compare it to a gacha like Wuthering Waves, that's only one more week beyond a regular release schedule with no
Yep.
reruns, 0 reruns.
Exactly. That was my point. Is no reruns.
Yeah.
So like we would never have a character come back anyway. So if it's one a month, that's some. I mean, even some gacha games have rerun patches where it's like a month and a half, no new character
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing is if you compare it to a game like Warframe, they release a new Warframe like every 2 to 3.
yeah, it's like I think they get like 4 a year, bro. Like new ones.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. So ours is pretty good.
ours is
Absolutely.
actually
That's a
faster
great
than
point.
theirs, if anything.
Yep.
But it was also just a little bit baffling to me, just like seeing how vehemently people, or some of these people, were like demanding these balance changes and stuff, to the point where they were making hyperbolic statements like the game, like the devs just didn't do anything. It's nothing is in the
crazy.
patch. Like that was crazy
Yep.
to me. Just saying that absolutely nothing was changed or improved or added to the patch.
Yeah. It was crazy,
Like-
bro.
I mean, I'm definitely open to criticism and discourse. I am 1,000% willing to have a well-meaning discussion and a well-managed discussion with people. But if you're like at the point where you're screaming and shouting that the game is dying because weapons aren't that useful right now, and there's a handful of characters that are not as good as the top contenders in the game right now,
Yeah.
I really feel like you've lost the plot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Morph.
Community.
Yeah.
I feel like at least my chat. Well, okay. For one thing, I'm a hit it with the YouTuber or like content creator side of things. People are a little bit burnt out, but they're coming back slowly.
Mhm.
So in terms of viewership, it's down. In terms of like actual players playing, it's down. But once 1.1 hits, it's gonna be back to normal. I'm already seeing some old names I haven't seen in like 3 weeks on my chat. They're all like saying hi again. I'm coming back. They're hyped. They like how Fushu looks. They like how the game looks. Because one of the biggest things that they talk about is the graphical. We already talked about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Game is looking. It's like we're gonna be playing a new game, sorta, or
Yeah.
like a fresh coat of paint over our game, which is a welcome change in my opinion. Because I've been looking at the same thing for 600 plus hours, so that's gonna be cool for me. In terms of the negatives, nothing really comes to mind. It's just that when because I always advocate to wedge farm, even though there's like no content. I'm always optimistic that there is gonna be content that you're gonna use for it. And it's like if you're playing the game, because what I want is people to play the game, right? That's the end goal as a content creator, like make people like play with you. So I always say like, yo, go wedge farm, do this, do that. A lot of them are like saying, I'm just gonna wait for the wedge event, stuff like that, which makes total sense. I don't know. Somebody in my chat showed me a screenshot of the wedge event and how it actually works. I think they got it from CJ's Discord or something. That thing was kind of crazy. Have you guys seen that? Like how they
The
like cracked the
translated
code?
post, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I've seen
I
that.
didn't
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
I talked about it in my prep guide video, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
looking
So
like they're
so
gonna
people are
be
just like
limited.
really they're really just waiting for 1.1 basically,
Mhm.
and then they're gonna come back. So that's it. No negatives on my side. To be fair, I don't go on Reddit. People on my stream and on my chat doesn't say this game sucks. Blah, blah, blah. They don't do that when they go in. They're more about like, yo, can you show me that Fushu licking ice cream video, or can you show me that?
This guy.
That's all they want from me. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Definitely.
I will say my chat. So, sorry if I'm like
Yeah, go for it,
butting
go
in,
for
but I will say my chat was like basically the exact same. Not really any shift. It was mostly just in the comments.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, again, it's like it's the vocal minority, right? For the people that are gonna complain about the update, and like
Mhm.
it's also unrealistic expectations. Is those complaints
Mhm.
really? Because like yeah, again, constructive criticism. The devs want constructive criticism, so if you are saying it, that's exactly the things they want to hear. But they
Yep.
don't want you saying the game's gonna be dead if they don't pick up the pace. Because I had a comment about that. Like, okay, man. Like the devs already said how hard they're working, and like people are like they're discrediting everything in the update. They don't credit none of that stuff, and they're like, oh, they should have been balancing this weapon, or they should have been balancing the characters, whatever, right? So I thought it was a little
Mhm.
disingenuous of some of those comments, and I see where they're coming from because obviously they enjoy the game if they're complaining about like, bro, they want like this thing changed because they want to play the character better or whatever, right? I understand that, but again, like, you know, it's one of those things that does have their priorities. They had to prioritize their brand new region for majority of their new players that are gonna play, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's why they did
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I think for the most part though, again, my community's been pretty good. It's just again like you're also saying, it's just those like comments and those like vocal minority comments. But other than that, yeah, no, it's been good. I heard it's been
Yeah.
bad on Reddit though. Like someone in my comments was like,
Yeah,
yo, it's
yeah.
like way worse on there because people are like making like whole threads of like complaints. It's just like, okay, man, I don't know, but
Uh,
it's fine on YouTube.
let me add one short thing before CJ gets in.
Go for it.
A lot of people in my chat and personally myself, like I'll be honest, like I was kind of feeling that the stream was mid. Like I messaged you guys, right? I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
we gotta
Yeah.
make this
Like
podcast.
first
It's pretty
impressions.
mid.
Yeah.
After I like I said, after I rewatched everything, went to do it with a better mindset, I realized that they did a lot of things, and there's actually more stuff that they didn't show yet. That's most likely going to be in the game, like the grappling hook points and commissions, so that you don't have to run piercing ascent or something.
Yep.
That's going to be there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. They didn't say anything about it, but they mentioned it on the notes before.
Mhm.
So, and I feel like that's pretty simple to do. So we can expect it most likely. So yeah, other than that, honestly, W. I now think it's a W.
Okay. Boy, for me, well, it seems my community likes when I talk some crap to people. So
Oh.
I got
Let's
on my
go.
Discord, yeah, and I had a ton of DMs again from people just sending me comments and posts and everything from everywhere, bro. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube videos, everything. And you got to make a video on this. You got to say something. I'm like, I'm tired. Let's see what they're saying, bro. Let's see what they're saying.
Yeah, you didn't sleep
And
that day, right?
nah, bro, I was exhausted by the time
Yeah.
I was awake for like 23, 24 hours, almost like full 24 hours, bro.
That's great.
And bro, it's like you guys said, it is the minority of players that are the toxic bunch, but they're loud. They're
Yeah, it's
real
the
loud,
vocal
and they're
minority. Yeah, they're the ones talking.
yeah,
Like,
yep,
that.
and they're very toxic about it. And I don't know if you guys have dealt with this, right? When we talk about these things, like, oh, we understand we wanted all of these things, but we get where the devs are going, why they're doing what they're doing, why they didn't do other things that we wanted to see. We try to reason it from like a logical and mature point of view, and we get painted out as glazers, right? Oh, how is
B
it doing?
writers.
Yeah, we're dig riding the freaking devs, or we're
Oh,
just over here glazing the company. And it's like, okay, hold on. We're saying that just like I don't think any of us have said we don't want endgame content, we don't want character balancing, we don't want more wedges, we don't want more
yeah.
cosmetics. We all want those things. But asking for everything right now in 1.1 at the same time that they're adding everything else, the graphical update, everything, all at the same time, it's unrealistic. And it's asking for a small company to do so much where they're gonna, well, I mean, they're already looking fried, so they're gonna look even more fried if they
Yeah.
were to do all of that. And then the quality from that point on would start dropping even more. And that's one thing that we're seeing a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen it, where people will come to my chats. A lot of people don't really come to talk bad because I cook them, but in the comments they will say stuff like, "Oh, how are we doom posting? We're just stating facts. This is
Yeah.
constructive criticism." I'm like, "You're saying the game is gonna die in 3 months."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the way they're painting
That's
it
not
out, bro. If they're saying it as
yeah,
like actual feedback, then it's valid completely. But
Mhm.
like, yeah, if it's like, where they're like, oh, I won't be playing the game by 1.3 if they keep up this pace. Like, bro, that comment had me, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
That one is just crazy.
Like there's a difference between like constructive criticism, which is like, oh, I would like to see them. I think they need to add some end game modes, otherwise players might get bored, as time goes on. That's true. That's constructive criticism. But saying, oh, they didn't add end game modes, the game's gonna die in 2 months, 3 months, end of service, game sucks, dev sucks. That's doom posting.
It's
If
funny
if
though, like the biggest. Sorry, it's funny
yeah,
though.
no, go
Like
ahead.
the biggest content creators that watch the Game Awards, when Duet Night Abyss popped up, they're actually kind of supporting it. They're like
Oh
talking good
yeah,
about it.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh
it
man,
looks
this game
good.
is like a gotchaless. What do you call it? Gotchaless gotcha game. The only one that hates it is Emeru."
Really. I only saw Moist Critical's
Wild.
response, and he like read a comment like someone was like, "Oh, it's not a gotcha game," because he was like, "Is this just another slop gotcha?" Like that's what he said when the trailer popped up, and he was like, "Oh, it's not a gotcha game, okay." Like like so when people hear that, it could be like more people getting into the game than just to try it out. It's like more word of mouth.
Yep.
For
Absolutely,
me,
bro.
for me, my chat's like they love to like deep find like secret stuff. So they because they know I like Asmongold. They know I like the Roach King.
Mhm.
So they like watched Asmongold streams, and then they when Asmongold alt tabbed and froze to the desktop, they saw Duet Night Abyss installed in it.
Damn.
They're like,
Okay.
oh, he's
Eh.
getting.
Already
So
got
they're
this
Okay.
they're
out.
like they're like, oh boy, he's gonna play it. It's
Bro,
gonna
but they just
change
gotta
his
give the
life.
game. Yeah, bro, they gotta give the game time to cook. That's the thing, and the devs are working on it. So, like, when we were dealing with all those people, is like when I asked them, right, and this is a side little rant topic. Oftentimes, people will say, "I'm bored. There's nothing to do in Duet Night Abyss," right? And I'll ask them, right? I try to get in on their head. I'm like, "So, what other games do you play?" "Oh, I play Wuthering Waves." "Oh, I play Genshin." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay."
makes
You're gonna
sense.
go pick Mint because it's so interesting, right? You're gonna go farm Echoes. So the game has a lot of stuff to do.
Mhm.
We just need more time to cook and give those things that we're currently farming for more usage, right? And that's
Yeah.
it, bro. But I personally think the foundations, which was better optimization for mobile, better graphics, better improvements to a lot of the little quality of life things that they're fixing, is a lot more important and impactful to the future of the game than if they just randomly released an update for like weapon damage or something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. The smart people in my chat or in my community, they just see what we've been playing as early access. They're like, oh look, they're getting a Steam launch on December 23. That's when the game actually starts.
Yeah.
So that's like what they're thinking in their brain, which is really what it is, right? Like we're getting a whole new graphical update. We're getting a whole new zone, new characters, new events, new commissions, because they said that there were Huaxu specific commissions. Yeah, but we're getting the real launch of the game now.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. And it's kind of like, at least I was saying, I'm sure you guys were saying this. A lot of people went into the 1.1 update expecting like the greatest update of all time, bro. And it's
Yeah.
probably going to be really good. It's going to have a lot of changes and meaningful things, but we got to be realistic, bro. They changed the model of the game like a few months before release. And ever since release, like Morph said earlier, the launch of the game was kind of cooked, right?
Mhm.
So they had to change all of those things. And then in a month and a half, they've overhauled the graphics to make them better and done all of these things. Let's see what they cook for 1.2, but let's be realistic as well with what they're doing and how the games are moving. I don't know what games people played that in their first ever update patch, like people pretty much wanted the game to be completely overhauled, like everything,
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
end game, everything. I don't know what game they've played that in their first ever update that happened.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Me neither, man.
Can I
heck,
add something?
even
Just like a
Yeah.
small thing. Uh,
Good.
you guys, okay, this is like a little bit of a tangent, but you guys know, like, if like me, like, I want to get into Wuwa, I feel like it's too late. I want to get into Genshin, I feel like it's too late. Like, Duet Night Abyss might actually be the only game that it will never be too late because
Mhm.
all the characters are just there.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're never gone.
agreed.
So that's why they're like really pushing for new players in 1.1 rather than satisfying us,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
why, bro. Like,
Because
And
they're
another thing we
farming.
have to another thing we have to consider when it comes to like end game content and stuff, and like stuff that will incentivize us having those like plus 10 gold wedges. Most people who are playing the game, like the majority of the player base, are within like the level 55 or maybe even just level 50 to 60 range. They're not even like level 60 and beyond.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
like the people who are at that point are top 10% of the player base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, you do want to cater to like your most hardcore players. You absolutely should. But considering it's this early, and especially when a lot of the other aspects about the game haven't been like as shored up, essentially pushing people to grind out all of that stuff, because there is like a couple of modes that will, or a couple of things to do that would really incentivize you having that stuff, may do a bit more harm to the wider player base than good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you guys touched up on that real well because I feel that a lot of people think they know what's best for the game, right? But
Mhm.
what you just said is like absolutely perfect, right? If they were to add an end game mode right now, right? Let's just say they would have added a brand new end game mode. I would have been happy. You would have been happy.
Mhm.
How would that draw in brand new players? It wouldn't.
It wouldn't. It really wouldn't.
It really wouldn't, right? It would make us, the veterans, the people that have been playing since launch and grinding a lot, happy. But if the game wants to survive, if it wants to do good, if it wants to continue to evolve, it needs more players. So working on the core of the game, you know, the graphics, the quality of life, simple things, right? If a player gets into the game, they're going to be able to, oh, now I can get at peace. Now I can get depth. Oh, now I can grind, or not grind, but have an easier time getting my prime wedges from Chase. All of those little things improve the grind. Oh, they're going to join with 1.1. We have a wedge farming event that's going to give us more drops, new area. It looks pretty. All of that is going to be more important for new players coming in and player retention rather than just adding an end game where all these new people coming in wouldn't even get to experience that end game until 2, 3, 4 weeks down the patch after they've, you know, gotten stronger. So I think what they're doing now is much better for the longer, you know, viability of the game over just an end game mode.
Also, another thing that I definitely want to bring up is the massive buffs to the event rewards. Now, obviously, to us, the things that we saw the most were like the Omni Smelts, the Genimon, and like the Twilight Treads, how many more of those we're getting. But another thing that we definitely got to consider is how many more of the base materials that we're getting. Because, like with the Demon Dwellers event, people were translating some of the reward amounts, and it was looking like we're getting 300 clues for like a single claim of some of these like event rewards. Which is going to be absolutely massive for people who are coming in, and will certainly be a really big incentive to participate in the events, because when it does come to stuff that you can grind, obviously an event would have to be pretty significantly better than just doing it normally, because we already currently have a situation like that with the current immersive theater setup, where yes, you can do let's say, I don't know, what would it be, 10 stages or 15 stages and get yourself a, what's it called, sharpening potion.
Yeah.
But you'd be able to get like 10 sharpening potions if you just grind out the game. But the events are looking to be a pretty big departure from that in a good way.
That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good. Like I think we can all agree from what the events look like, they're all looking pretty good. At
Mhm.
least better than what we had in 1.0, which
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
is like when you ask anybody that's actually playing the game, when you look at the 1.1 update, does it look like a better patch? Does it look like a better quality game than 1.0?
Mhm.
Anybody
Yes.
would say yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right
Yeah.
away, yes. And that's all you really need to know that it is moving in the right direction. If it would have been like not really, it looks like the same crap, but it doesn't. It actually looks better in multiple departments. It's that simple.
You can see
Now,
where they're still putting money into the game.
yeah,
That's nice.
money and time, bro. You could
Yeah.
definitely notice it for sure. This one is going to be controversial because we've seen some memes made about this one in several other games, but we got to do it, right? What from a 1 to 10, what would you rate the dev stream? Considering everything, content, presentation, information, everything. This is where
I
we
mean,
get
I'd
called
say
glazers. Or doing
content
posters.
wise, probably a pretty good like 7 out of 10. Most like it's about what I expected for the stage of the game that we're in. Definitely positive still about it, but it's not like the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when it comes to presentation, definitely somewhere around like a 4. Again, like
Yeah.
they were very obviously tired and didn't really go into detail on a lot of the things that I really would have liked them to. And when it comes to like the overall experience, it was very much something that was meant to be informative rather than being a kind of experience that we may have expected from, in comparison to the launch stream, or something like a Kuro Games Wuthering Waves update stream.
Yeah.
So I'd say overall probably like a 6,
Okay.
5 or 6, 5.5.
Okay.
For me, I'd say like 7, 6, something like that.
Mhm.
Definitely. Well, he explained it. Furious explained it pretty damn well. Presentation wise, maybe get the cosplay girl to like look hot and then do the presentation.
This
And then
guy, bro.
Oh, did you guys watch the Japanese live stream? Because like they had cosplayers on there and they were giving them drinks the whole time. It's
Yeah.
just like
What?
constantly mixing up drink. It's like, here, try this one. It just had like Psyche and they like sipping on something.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
see
I didn't
that,
see
bro.
that. Yeah, I didn't see that.
So yeah, I think let the cosplayers present, and yeah, I will, because they're gonna get paid to do it, right?
Mhm.
So they're gonna do a good job at presenting. And then for the content wise, I was surprised with a lot of things. So I was just, there are disappointments, yes, but in terms of the content, there's a lot of things to see and a lot of things missing too. But still, a lot of things I wasn't really expecting, I saw. So it kind of balanced out, right? Like things that I wanted to see versus things that I didn't even think I would see. made it a good presentation. So solid 7.
Yeah, pretty much everything Firas and Morph said for like explaining like each of the things. But if I had to give an overall ranking and throw it in the chat said I can't say 7, I'm gonna lean more towards the higher. I'm gonna say 8. You know, but like my main thing is like, yeah, the presentation wasn't good. The devs were tired. I understand. Like they were working hard. So I come from the point of view where I'm like understanding of like, you know, what they had to go through to push out this update. And then also I think a big thing for me was the TGA announcement the night prior was big. Like the fact that they even got a trailer on TGA to like, you know, promote the brand new update and even announce Steam launch too. I think that's all big things, you know, like they're doing the right things right now. And yeah, I'm gonna say 8. You know, I'm gonna lean towards the more like, you know, optimistic, you know, optimistic side of things. But yeah, on the glazing side, I guess.
Gotta say, they're already doing a much better job compared to like how Hero Games started out with the Wuthering Waves live streams between
literally.
the launch stream and the
literally.
1.1. I mean, they didn't even have a 1.1 live stream, so
Yeah.
So for me, guys, I would have to say I'm right there with you when it comes to, I think the content was good. It wasn't great. I thought it was good. I think they did good with the content. So on the things that they showcase, whether it's, you know, the changes to chase, once again, the items, right, that we can use to dupe our weapon and wedges. On the content side of things, I think it was about an 8, right? Once again, they didn't drop the content that I would like to see, like end game modes or improvements to progression when you're doing waves, getting more rewards and stuff like that. But the things that they did show, right, they're vital for later stages of the game, right? They're going to set up better footing for players. So on that regard, I would rate it an 8. But I'm gonna be real. On the presentation, I gotta be honest, despite the devs being tired and everything, and I don't know if this had anything to do with it. This could just be me. I don't know if it felt rushed because they knew that they had the Wuthering Waves 3.0 live stream on their tail. It was like right after them. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, right? But on the presentation, I gotta give them like a 4, bro, because the lack of information was insane. Like they didn't give us enough information about almost anything, right? We didn't get enough information about the wedges. We had to sit here like speculating, are those gonna, like they told us, oh, you can get depth and you can get fishing or the fishing trait from the shop. What are the genie mons in there? Are they profile pictures? Are they the actual genie mons? People speculated. I don't know
They're
if we still
avatars.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, are
like
they avatars?
Yeah.
We still don't know, at least for sure. At least I don't know. I haven't checked if there's any confirmed information regarding that. The events, right? One of the events, the combat one, says that there's like apex stages or something along those lines that has like titles. Is it going to be hard? What are the enemy levels? Like what's going on with that? So there was a lot of information that I feel they kind of left out, and like I said, it could be for many reasons, right? It could be tired, it could be Woowa on their tail, whatever. But yeah, the lack of information was huge. And just with a little bit more information, the hype from it would have been just with like 5 extra minutes on the stream of information, the stream would have been a lot more hype, showcasing more wedges. When they said about the wedges, it was in plural, and then they showed one. And even though the wedge event does have the pictures showing other new wedges, just telling us about it would have, just saying, yeah, we have 10 new wedges coming or something along those lines, it would have been huge for the hype,
100%.
right? So on that end, I have to give it like a 4. And total, I would have to give it, I'm gonna go with the meme, bro. I gotta give it a 7 out of 10, bro. Yeah, 7 out of 10, bro.
No,
Gotta go with
I feel
the
like
meme.
this is a fair 7 out of 10 though. You know, like
Yeah, no,
average
it's
it
a
out.
fair
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree around there. And even though it's a 7 out of 10, it's not like it was bad. They did a lot of good things. And if, like we said, if we talk about the content alone would bring it up to like 8, 8.5, because the content was good for a first patch. But what's holding them back is the presentation, which is not even like the worst in terms of
True.
like the actual game update. So 7 out of 10 is just what I think it's fair.
For me, you know what? Like, you're right with the lack of hype. and because of our launch, they really needed to hype more. I guess presentation wise, presenting it with more hype would have hyped it up more info, or maybe like other changes that they could have done. But uh, yeah, it's a hindsight thing for now. So I think it's mostly going to be up to the community and content creators now to once we get our hands on 1.1 and see what happens, it's our job to hype.
Yep.
That's what they depend on. That's how we're gonna get our partnership from DNA, right? Right, devs?
And studio, hire me, please.
Yeah, bro,
Pick
hire
me,
us for
this
real.
guy.
We're doing it, bro. We're putting in work, man.
Look at my
Yeah,
community. They're
hopefully-
making your art for you. Look at that ice
Yeah,
cream
bro.
cone.
Yo, can I add one thing about that actually? Because I just thought about it. With you mentioning Pan Studio, bro, this is their first game they've ever developed. By the way,
Yeah.
some people understand their first game they've ever developed. They are under like a publisher that's done other big games, but like this is their like first like endeavor as making a brand new game and a live service game at that, right? So
Yeah,
I
it's
do
big.
think that's something to mention. Like people have to understand, like this is their like first attempt at something, and so far, like for us four, like we enjoy this type of game. So
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy that you bring that up because I feel that people nowadays they've lost two things. One, they've lost the plot, and two, they've lost empathy, bro.
they have,
Like,
man.
oh, it doesn't matter that it's their first game. It doesn't matter that they have a small team. It doesn't matter that they look like they haven't slept in 3 weeks, that they look depressed. Nah, they got to drop the best patch of all time with their first ever patch. They got to give us everything we want. Otherwise, the game sucks.
Yeah.
Like, people got to be realistic, bro. People are humans at the end of the day. And even if they are a company making money off of this, they're still having to pay everybody. They're still human beings. They still got to sleep. They're still planning, and everything that goes into a game is a lot harder than people think. And like you said, first ever game is a live service game. So they're under a lot of pressure to deliver. And I think they're not doing bad, bro. Could they have done better in a lot of aspects? Sure, but they're not doing bad. Like we've seen way worse game launches than this.
Oh yeah.
I was making jokes when I was looking at the devs. I was like, yo, these guys put in a lot of money into their game. They gotta make money, so that's why they look like this. They're putting in the effort. They gotta make that money back. So they're gonna
Facts.
work hard. For real.
No.
I could definitely see that. I mean, I'm somebody who is basically working all the time right now. I don't know how much of that shows up to you guys within my content in streams, though. I try to keep things chill.
Yeah. I try. Doesn't always work that way, but I try to keep things chill on my side.
Dude, you were farming something.
Yeah, bro. I had to, bro. Like, bro, I kid you not, chat. I'm just chilling, right, guys? I'm just in my Discord chilling. And a lot of my members that have been with me from like WUA, they know I don't like to get in like drama or any of those things. But if it comes for me, like I'm snappy and quick with what I gotta say. I kid you not, I wake up to messages all the time from people that aren't even in my Discord. So I'm like, how do they find me? Like what? I've never seen you. Like I don't know who you are, and they try to get me involved into some of these things. But I feel that at the end of the day, all of us here are very well involved with the game, and we actually try, all of us, from all our different ways of doing things, to promote the game in a good way, bro.
What's the funniest mean thing your haters call you?
I don't have anything specific that they've called me that I think has been really funny. I definitely had some even funnier things about me back when I was covering Destiny Rising and where I was making criticism posts about that. I don't know how familiar y'all are with that game. Now, if you want to see a like subpar 1.1 launch, there's a good example right there.
For my chat is spamming it or saying it now. They like to call CJ Tectone with hair. Walmart Tectone.
They be roasted. They be saying it sometimes, bro.
Timo Tectone.
That's crazy.
They be saying, bro.
I like Tectone. I don't know why that's a hate thing, though.
Yeah, bro, I'm cool with Tectone, bro. But that's what we got to ask our chat. Everybody in their chat, what do you guys call the CCs you watch? Just let them know in your chat right now. Just quickly, just start spamming it. Let them know. For me, they just be calling me, yeah, bro. They be calling me bald because I always have a cap on, so they be saying I'm bald and old, I guess. So that's what they roast me. But it's usually my own people, like the people I'm with and chat with. Haters don't really say nothing. They just say some dumb shit. But my people, they always say something goofy and they actually roast me, bro. I actually
My chat
encourage
seems
them
to think
roasting
I'm secretly a cat.
me. What? Why?
I don't have a clue. I think it's because of the
Damn,
profile
bro.
picture.
Okay. Hey, bro. That's how they are with us, man. But I'm glad at least we built a community that vibes with us. That's the most important thing, bro. They can vibe with us when we stream.
Yeah.
All right. This next topic has also caused some controversy, and it's only been out for like a couple of days, I think, a day or so. That is Tower, right? Theater. As we know, Theater just got announced, and for the third time in a row, we're getting a Nemo. And on
Or
top of
Nemo's
that, there's
me.
there's a specific debuff in there that I don't
Yep.
know how you guys feel about it, but I want to hear what you guys think about the fact that,
I hate it.
theater is looking the way it is. Feel free to go.
I don't like it. I kind of feel that the just having Animo for a third time in a row would have been already more than enough, but the current theater that we have right now, I definitely enjoy that a lot more because we actually have a decent selection of options between all of the cast. I think we've got, I don't know, 6 or more viable characters in there, and the buffs are pretty general. Like, obviously, they are still kind of a little bit geared towards Psyche. She's going to be able to make the best use out of all of them, but it's also not like okay, this is very clearly just designed to make Psyche look good. Now, the next one is very much that, especially because Hydro is the other one, and the only real Hydro main DPS we have right now is Rebecca, who can't really boss that well. So that's definitely something that I'm not too stoked about. And I would really like it if theater took different paths in the way they designed it, especially in the amount of stages there are and how many combat engagements you have to go through in each stage. But I also kind of realize that this is very much a placeholder and probably not the exact way they want to be doing things. It's just the kind of design they already had from the previous gacha model, and it does them better to kind of leave it like this, especially because if you have people who already built their psyches, if they can continue to use their psyches and aren't pressured to build more characters, that is kind of beneficial because it allows them to chill out while the game is still cooking more and more until we get that content where it's like, okay, this is when you really want to start hitting stuff, and that's when a full end game overhaul would hit a lot harder. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I did make a whole video on it that I posted this morning. Bigger thumbnail.
I everybody knows I hate theater. I think it's bad. I don't like theater. The fact that we get a Nemo 3 times in a row is just ridiculous. It's obviously because you like they said, you're gonna build your psyche. Uh the first theater you had psyche in I3 maybe, and then they put psyche in the what do you call it? The weeklies. Now you have I6 psyche. So I'm for the devs making money because I want them to support the game, right? Obviously, they did this because the Myriad skin has 1 week left, and you probably have an I6 Psyche, and you might think about, all right, let's get the skin for Psyche because we get to use her for 1 more month. That's just my personal take. I'm fine with that. That's okay. But the nice thing about the current tower, at least, the buffs are so general and good for a lot of characters, not just 6 is very good. They can go deep, but it's fun for characters that play with weapons. Like I use a katana build, and the buffs just make me. I can clear Act 25 at least with my Sibi or something. At least it's fun for people like me. But this next tower, the 35% maximum damage to health per hit, that thing is really bad, especially for somebody that like me that mains Truffle for theater. Truffle's all about dealing that one big hit and one-shotting mobs. Now, if I like run around, I'm gonna have to run around 3 times because 35 plus 35 plus
Yeah.
35. 3 hits to basically destroy anything. That feels bad. So like a character that's like known for like slow hits is not gonna do well. The reason why they did that 35% thing is obviously because they want you to use Fushu that gives you skill speed so that you like hit the skills faster, which will compensate for the 35% HP debuff.
And Psyche, who is all
But
about like a bunch of
Literally,
little
yeah.
tiny hits.
yeah. So yeah, it's really like pinpointed at specific characters, this tower. Yeah. Like you said, it's not gonna be the permanent end game. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the permanent end game. So just a little bit more patience. Plus, I'm extra salty because they shafted Electro again. So yeah. People that built Electro, well, better luck next month.
People that built Electro, I2 Rhythm is coming for you.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I personally hate theater. That's my take.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like the Spiral Abyss equivalent for this game, you know. So like, there's not really much like that's like intricate about it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, with the way they have it with the Nemo and Hydro, after thinking about it, I'm not too like mad at the triple and Nemo. But I understand people are like, yo, like we've used Psyche for this long. Can we change to something else?
Yeah.
You know, I get that. I get that sentiment completely. But I do understand where it's like, especially now with this new update too, and like for people that want to get Psyche in the new update, if they start in 1.1, they have to literally go in weeklies to get her, like Psyche now, right? Because she's not in immersive theater like she was for us. So they would have to get like an I0, I1 Psyche before maybe they're even cleared with her like that. Because I0, it's a little rough, you know, with the healing you need. So, I
Well,
understand
they
it
will
kinda,
be
yeah.
getting Fushu, which will be a
True,
healer.
true, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
But I just mean like for herself, like it's a little annoying, right? Obviously with Fushu, that's why, like, you know, that's why
Yeah.
they also have Hydro for it too. But yeah, like I think after thinking about it, I'm not too mad about Nemo, but I understand everyone's sentiment. Like they want a different type. They want to mess around with like Electro or like I don't know. Well now Hydro. I guess we got Hydro now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think they're also like not touching Lumino until Keijo, right? Because they know how
Yeah.
strong Nightfall is. They know how strong Lisbel is. Like they're like, oh, we're not gonna touch that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much how I feel about it. Overall, like again, like theater, it's one of those things that we talked about it even on the last podcast. Like it's gonna be hard to get it to where like people will like I don't know, like have it where like it's like difficult for endgame players, but then like you know also like or like easier for like players getting into the game. And again, like with the approach the devs have went about it anyway, where they're pushing the whole new like 1.1 region and all that, they definitely want to be more like to the casual audience for like the general player than like us endgame hardcores that have like plus 10 gold wedges on everything, right? So I don't understand. That's why they make it a little bit easier, and that's why they're I guess now they're pushing Psyche. They're like, oh, if people like maybe tried out the launch and have Psyche a little bit, then they could easy clear. But yeah, there's that. And then I think like the really bad thing about the latest year though is the damage cap because it's artificial difficulty. It doesn't make it actually hard because it's not based on our strength on our wedges. It's just forced like difficulty. You know what I mean? Like Morph was saying with Truffle, 3 hits with Truffle to take out an enemy is terrible now. At least before Truffle one-shot an enemy, but like it's a lot harder for her to clear than like a Psyche because she has so much better AoE and just like personal damage too, right? So yeah, I think like 35%. I don't know, maybe 50% would have been okay this time around, but yeah, damage cap regardless, I think is just like always a bad like thing to add in a game. It's artificial difficulty. It's not like actually like difficult. It's just they made it so that you can't do more than this, right? You can't do more than that amount of damage. So yeah, that's my opinion on theater right now.
Yeah, for me, I gotta agree with y'all. I don't like the fact that they're adding a Nemo again, honestly. I don't see a reason that's viable in terms of like playing the game, why it would be a good reason to do it, right? If you're a new player, like first let me get this out the way. You are going to be able to clear those 12 stages
Yeah.
regardless
Yeah.
with almost any character. Like it don't even matter if it's a character that's off element. You're going to be able to clear those 12 stages, right? If you got them decently invested. I'm not even talking about like plus 10s, nothing. Just decently invested, you'll be able to clear those 12 stages. But that's not the point, right? If we're just looking at a brand new player, right? Why a Nemo? Like, what's the point there? Oh, I'm gonna go farm Fushu. Great. Who do I use now? Oh, a Nemo's boosted. Let's use my weeklies on Psyche. You might not even get Psyche on your first week running it. And if you get her, you're definitely getting I1. You're not getting that I1 on the first week, right? Sure, you have Rebecca and other things, but I think promoting variety and diversity would be pretty good. And we have characters that can absolutely clear theater with no problem. Lady Niffle, Fantasio, Lynn, all
Lisbell.
of different elements. Yeah, Lisbell. We just got Lisbell that's gonna be hitting the store. So Lumina would have been cool just to try out Lisbell, even if we have Lady Niffle, right? Just variety would be good. And I get there's a lot of people that just like to sit comfortably on their chair and play with the character without having to build other characters.
Yeah.
But variety, like I don't think there's many games that we play where like the same element gets used for like what 2 months, a month and a half. That doesn't really happen often. So on that regard, I don't really like it, since we would have already, like, us veterans, we can clear with whatever. We can probably go in there with like, I don't know, Morph set, Sybil, and just clear everything, no problem.
Yeah.
But variety would have been good. And then the second part of that is that HP cap or damage cap. Ooh, I don't like that. I feel that I would have preferred if it was something where like the enemies hit us harder.
Yeah.
So we gotta like be more careful with how we play and do things rather than just artificially inflate the enemies so they take more hits to kill. I don't find that fun, right? Personally, that's me. I think that would have been just giving the enemies more damage, or if they hit us, I don't know, 2 times the same enemy, they do more damage to us regardless. Increasing the difficulty via like actual mechanics where we got to pay attention to how we play rather than, oh, now we just got to hit them a bunch of times to do the same damage we've always been doing. I think that's a pretty crappy modifier in my opinion. That's just it. Overall, we'll still have to see. All I know is that if we get a Nemo for the 4th time, I might crash out. But like, we're cooked at that point, bro.
We're getting
Outsider
Hydro
mains are
3
eating,
times
bro.
in a row. I'm
Outsider mains
calling
are
it.
eating though.
Yeah, true. They are. Outsider be chilling right now. It's people clearing 60 waves plus with Outsider just enjoying life.
I'm like, yep, I got to use him again, you know?
Yep.
I love Outsider so much, man.
Yeah,
So
so
fun.
like, he is pretty cool. Like I also find it funny because and it might be, involved with the kit, but Katana Outsider does work. He actually does work.
It's a good.
I mean, the problem with Outsider, that's his only mode, though, right?
No.
You can't.
Vernal Jade Halberd works well too.
Oh, you can farm with him with charge attack.
No, you just do the normal attack one with the what's it called, commanding thrust. That is, it's not going to be as much boss damage comparative to the Katana build, but it is very, very consistent normal attack damage. I'd say it's about like 10-20% less DPS, at least comparing the Smelt 0 Halberd to the Smelt 5 Iteki against the boss, but obviously it's going to be having a significantly better AoE clear with that and be a lot easier because you don't have to worry about missing your charge attacks.
Okay, well, I was more like talking about like Peter is like the only mode that I could really see him being played in.
Oh,
can you farm with him?
Yeah,
Like-
I do escorts with him because I can max out charge
Okay.
attack. I can max out attack speed with him. Like whenever I do an escort, I just like do 2 E's and then Q, and then I just push ahead with Vernal Jade Halberd because the only thing that matters in that mission is moving fast.
Okay. But yeah,
Get
man,
pretty
I
consistent,
think
like 20 to 28 second runs.
I feel like there's a lot of weapons that have potential and they do good. And the thing with that is that at least right now, a lot of people say, yes, weapons need a buff. I always got to say this first because someone's always going to come at my neck. But weapons do need a buff, but currently, considering the fact that in most stages we're getting out on wave 10, wave 6, wave like early waves of content, you can still clear with weapons with several characters, bro. Someone posted not too long ago on my Discord Psyche Katana build, and they were destroying things no problem. So not every weapon is like that, but there are weapons that actually are good.
Yeah, there's the ones with the damage modifiers are good.
Yeah.
Like the jade. That's the katana.
All right, boys. I think we pretty much covered everything we wanted to talk about. We gave our piece regarding the 1.1 update, you know, about the theater mode. At this point, the only thing there's left to do is 1, wait for the actual patch notes, and 2, wait for it to launch and see what the devs cook. There's a lot of information we still don't know. So we got to just wait and see.
True.
Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
I think
Wedge
I'm
maxing.
good.
Wedge maxing.
Just
Yes.
gotta get one last one in.
Bro, my community actually made a gift and uploaded it, and they got approved. So now if you type "I need to wedge" on Discord, I'm over there spinning on a chair,
Really?
bro. Yes.
That's good.
It is crazy. Like, why would it get approved, man? But hey, I think that's literally everything for today, man. I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time out of your days to come hang out. And I hope the chat enjoys everybody coming in to talk. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and I'll chat it up with y'all later.
Yep. See you guys next time. 1.1.
Bye bye.